broadcasters. Welcome to episode 241 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. My name's Geige. I'm here with Dan, of course. Dan, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. It's been a good week. Really excited for tonight. We have some exciting updates to share that have been asked for a really long time, so excited to go through those. For anyone new here, Dan and I are the founders of StreamYard. We do these town halls every single Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific, and we do them for a few reasons. One is to stay in tune with all of you, go through the same flow that you all do with your own shows and productions. Two is to answer any of your questions. That's why we're calling it Ask StreamYard. So if there's anything you'd like us to touch on tonight, feel free to leave it in the chat, and we'll do our best to get to as many as we possibly can. And third, I always mention the three pillars of StreamYard, which are ease of use, stability, and professional stream. So if you're about those three things, StreamYard is the tool for you. See people tuning in from all over the world tonight. I think I saw the Philippines. We have Clarine from Oklahoma, as usual. Nice to see everybody here. Before I forget, we have lots of awesome shows on StreamYard. We have YouTube channel reviews with Dee and Daniel the second Saturday of every month. Really fun and useful show if you're looking to grow on YouTube. They're both experts when it comes to everything YouTube, and they do specific reviews on individual channels, so you can get really good insights to understand things like, how to think about a particular niche, how to think about, how often to post thumbnails, everything that is necessary for succeeding on YouTube. And then we have Enhance Your Live Streams the last Tuesday of the month with Nick Nimmin, who again, pro when it comes to all things video, but tune into that one for your specific live streaming questions. And then one thing we've been doing at the start of these so that we get to know a little bit more about you and you get to know a little bit more about us is a fun fact. And the fun fact we had for tonight was favorite sitcom, if you have one, if you have a favorite sitcom.
So I guess you and I probably have the same favorite sitcom. So mine is definitely Seinfeld. How about you?
Yeah, we've chatted about it before, but Seinfeld definitely is my favorite. I think it was one of the, maybe it wasn't the first sitcom, but it was one of the, definitely like sort of helped define the what a sitcom is. But yeah, I always loved Seinfeld.
Yeah, I assume it's the favorite of a lot of people out there.
Yeah.
Or Friends.
Friends was a big one too, yeah. Cool. Let's get into a couple questions first, and then we'll get into the update. Let's see what all we had here. We had one at the beginning from WSLM Radio says, would like to have on-the-fly lower thirds, especially for news or sports segments. Also, a live scoreboard would be great. So I'm guessing you already know this, WSLM, but in case you don't. So the brand section is fully dynamic in terms of like, if you type something in the middle of the show, you can do that and show it at any time during the show. I'm guessing what you mean is like the ability to pull in information from like some other source and have that maybe update the lower third. If that's what you mean, it would be helpful for you to confirm that. But yeah, I think that's a really cool idea along with a live scoreboard, giving folks more flexibility to sort of integrate sources of information into their stream is an interesting one for sure.
And just to confirm, because I think you said the brand section, it's the banner section where you can just type stuff out. But again, I'm guessing he already knows that.
Oh, sorry, my mistake. Yeah.
Yep. But a lot of people will do that. So, for example, they'll be watching, let's say you're watching a soccer football game and somebody scores. You just create a new banner or edit the existing banner, update what the score is, post that. But yeah, I get if maybe you want to have it in the top center or something, you want to have some kind of like dynamic overlay set up for that. Don't have that now, but interested in maybe adding something that would allow you to do that.
Cool. Army Podcast says, feature request, the ability to have a live counter of subscribers or name new subscribers to YouTube. Yeah, that's a good one. Army Podcast, like being able to sort of call people out that subscribe. Cool. Yeah, we definitely want to continue improving our integration with YouTube. So yeah, noted on that one. We did recently add, it's not this feature, but in some ways related, some new features for YouTube when it comes to when there's like a new, like if the milestone that your members are able to send out, you now have the ability to feature that on the stream. But yeah, definitely want to continue improving things with the YouTube integration.
Yeah, and we do say when someone becomes a member, so a paying member, yeah, it would be kind of cool to have a subscriber call it as well. I'm not sure if that's something YouTube exposes that we could access, but it will be pretty cool.
Awesome. Maurice says, is there a cost for this service? We have both free and paid versions, Maurice. So free version is pretty feature rich, so you can try the vast majority of the product out to see if it's good fit for you. But for all the details, if you go to StreamYard.com/pricing, you can see the differences between sort of the free and paid tiers.
Yep.
John says, any closer to interfacing with Rumble and Kick? So Rumble specifically, John, doesn't have a API to integrate with, at least at this time. I don't know about Kick yet. I'll have to look at Kick, but I think it's the same story with Kick. Both you can stream with RTMP, though. So as a custom RTMP destination, if they do ever add APIs, it's something that we're open to if there is demand for that.
Yep.
Joshua says, question, any chance for audio video markers during the live stream to help with editing, adding timestamps to the back end after the live stream? Do you want to take that one, Dan, while I look for
Yeah, definitely. It's a good question. So there's definitely a chance of it. It's not something we're working on right now, but it is something we're open to adding. One thing, well, I'm just thinking if I have any follow-up questions. I don't think so. I think we understand the use case pretty well, and maybe this type of thing where we do it as a hotkey, but then also something you could potentially click somewhere to do it. So I guess I'd be curious, is there a preferred way you'd like to add markers? Is it just hit a hotkey, or is it have something on the site where you want to click? But yeah, definitely open to that.
Cool. Tons of great questions here. Let's do a couple more before getting into the feature announcement, and then we can get back to some of the questions. Let's see here. Movie and Game Lovers says, hey, for this new feature, is there still a way to invite guests to StreamYard with the record-only functionality? Yes, absolutely. That's one of the really cool features of the recording options on StreamYard is it works very similar to how you live stream, right? So like if all the brand section, like all of the cool functionality of StreamYard, you have full access to in the record-only mode. So if you want to have guests or multiple guests, you can absolutely do that. And it works the same as a live stream. There's the studio link, which is how you invite the guests. It's just in the case of a record-only, there's no like YouTube link or public link in that sense.
Yep.
All right, let's do one more, and then we'll do the feature update. Creative Lady says, can we upload MOV files into the brand tab? Not at this time, Creative Lady, but it's definitely something that we want to do and that we're continuing to look into, especially for the transparent effects that you can do with MOV files.
Yep. Yeah, there's just some trickiness with various browsers, but we're hoping to sort that out.
Cool. All right, let's get into the announcement for tonight, which is recording controls. So this has been asked about for a super long time. Really excited to add this. We have a video that will walk through the details, and then we can definitely answer any questions or suggestions you guys have. Any other thoughts on this, Dan, before we roll the video?
Yeah, I guess just as a precursor, some of you I'm sure are already aware of this because we did ship it a few days ago. So a lot of times on the town hall, we'll talk about a feature that we're either just shipping right now or shipping, later in the week or something. In this case, it actually already rolled out near kind of the middle of last week, so you can already play around and test it out if you want. But yeah, let's roll the video and then we can answer any questions you might have.
Awesome. Let me grab the video here. All right, here it is.
Hey, this is Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that we just launched recording controls. Recording controls bring so much additional flexibility to the recording studio. Instead of doing one long take that you might have to edit, you can now create clips by pausing, canceling, and restarting the recording studio. I'm even using it now. Recording controls will only work on recordings. You can't pause a live stream. This feature is available on all plans. When you're in a recording studio, you'll see the new buttons up top near the broadcast button. You can pause, resume, restart, or cancel your recording. Pausing allows you to put the recording on hold. Useful if your doorbell rings and you need to answer it mid-show. This is perfect if you want to take a break, think about what you want to say, and then resume. You can cancel the recording, which will delete it. Restart does a bit of both. Restart will delete your last take and resume recording. If you have a destination connected to your studio, recording controls won't be available. You can't pause a live stream. Recording controls also work with local recordings. Once you're finished creating a recording, we'll merge all of your clips together into one recording. You might not even need to edit. But if you do, we have an editor for that. We're excited about this feature, and we can't wait to see your recordings. Happy recording!
Awesome. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about the new functionality, definitely let us know. Like Dan mentioned earlier, everybody should have access to this already, right? Right, Dan, if they try it out now. But yeah, let us know if there's any questions. Anything else to add to that, Dan?
There always is. Yeah, let me think. So first, just to reiterate, I think a few key points there. I think the video covers it really well, but a few points. So the first one is it is called recording controls for a reason. So this is just for recording. There are no streaming controls, and that's just because, like Dana mentions in the video, you can't pause a live stream. This is just a feature that platforms don't have. You can't pause a stream on Facebook or YouTube, for example. So if you want to pause a stream, we'd recommend just showing an overlay, removing yourself from the stream if you need to take a quick break or something. But with recording, it is super convenient to be able to just pause, go do something, or if there's a noise in the background, and then continue on later. So that's basically the pause feature, and Dana covered the restart and cancel pretty well. It's basically, I want to do multiple takes. I want to make sure I get my recording exactly right. That's what those features are for.
Absolutely. Sounds like folks are pretty excited. Great to see that. And many of you have actually already tried it out. Glad you're looking forward to it, Studio. Let's see what else we had here. Sounds like Elizabeth had a chance to try it out and worked well. Great, Elizabeth. Happy to hear that. Let's see what else we had here. Awesome, Marianne. Glad you're looking forward to it. Sounds like Muttnuts had a chance to try them as well. Super happy that it's working well for you, Muttnuts. Trying to see if there's any questions about it. Sounds like mostly just excitement. Super happy to hear that. Yeah, I definitely remember that. Chlorine, it's been a while. Super excited to finally release it. Sounds like Hector had a chance to use it too. Awesome. That's great, Chantel. Marissa says perfect for a few projects that she's working on. That's great to hear. Pete says it would be great if the pause put in chapter markers. Any thoughts on that one, Dan?
Interesting. Is that just out of curiosity, Peter? Are you talking like for post-production? So you're editing, you want to know where you paused, basically? Or is it some kind of like when you share the link on StreamYard afterwards, you want to have basically the equivalent of like YouTube sections based on when you pause? Let me know. Cool.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense to me. I assume it's the former, but if not, let me know. Because, yeah, I definitely get it. Like if I was doing a video, knowing like where I recorded each segment that I actually used makes a lot of sense.
Yep. Yeah, and right now they are basically stitched together, I would say. So, for example, say you're doing a 10-minute recording and 5 minutes in, there's somebody knocks on the door, something you want to pause. You pause, come back a couple minutes later, resume. The final output will obviously not have that 2-minute section, but it's all one recording. So it'd be one 10-minute recording with the paused part completely removed, but it's not two separate recordings or anything. That is something we may add later, though.
Awesome. Let's see what else we had here. Let's Talk says, feature request, local recording, the option to save everything to the host device. So I'm guessing Let's Talk. So right now it is technically saving it to the host device in order to capture that high quality, but then it's uploading it to StreamYard in the background. I assume what you mean is like also at the same time saving it to your own device. I would be curious, like the main benefit you get out of that, just to understand for myself better, because you still would have to deal with, like if you were recording with another person, you'd still have to figure out a way to get that audio file to you. So I'm just curious, is it just like having to wait to download it on StreamYard, or what the benefit would be for you? It'd be good to know.
Yeah, or maybe are you just recording by yourself, in which case you just want it to be a little faster, but you don't have to worry with like the server side stuff and having to download it.
Cool. Holly says, have you guys been working on a VU meter? I think it's a volume meter for all guests to level out volumes. Thanks, guys. Yeah, thanks, Holly, for the question. Yes, that one's definitely been coming a lot, especially as we've added more recording controls and functionality around podcasting. So it is something that we're looking into, is making it easier for folks to figure out before they actually hit record or go live, to understand exactly like how loud everything is and how exactly it's going to sound. So it's something we're looking into for sure.
Yep, I definitely get the pain point on that one.
Hey, April, I see your comment. You had some issues with the virtual backgrounds and Touchup in terms of like the performance. So they are features that are going to use additional compute from your computer. So like that is something, unlike the multi-streaming that is happening on your own system versus StreamYard's. It is something that we're going to continue to make better and optimize more and more. So it will get better over time. But if you are having issues, that would be my best bet, is that it's just basically a lot. Maybe if you have an older computer, if your computer's not older, that would be helpful to know. I'm guessing that's likely the cause. But if I think I know, I was going to ask if you could. I think I already know your email, so I'll look at you said you submitted tickets to support. I'll look at those to see if I have any additional insights. But that would be my guess. But if it's not working now, I would keep trying it in like the coming months, because we do have a team that's the big priority for them right now is just making it work better and better and better on all types of devices, so that even if someone is on a low power device, that it will work right.
Yeah, we're constantly trying to optimize all kinds of stuff and just make it as performant as physically possible. So, and those are both on the list. Like they're already fairly performant for running in a browser, but we want to get it as good as we possibly can.
Cool. Marianne says, when using the pause feature, can we use the change camera setting?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, you should be able to use essentially every setting you would in StreamYard.
Yep.
Joshua said, would a Chrome extension help with hotkeys interface with SY? So we do have hotkeys on StreamYard, Joshua. I think maybe you're referring to like an integration with like an audio interface or like a Stream Deck or something like that. It is possible for us to do. We do just have to make sort of like and not really an app, but kind of like an app to interface directly with something like a Stream Deck, which we do want to do eventually. It wouldn't be a Chrome extension, but it is something that we can do.
But yes, in theory, someone could write a Chrome extension to change the hotkey functionality in some way, or really anything with any website. So depending on what you're trying to do.
Like their own Chrome extension? Yeah.
It integrates with Stream Deck and uses the StreamYard hotkeys. It's a fair bit to it, but yeah, it is possible.
Cool. All right. I think there were some earlier questions I missed. Let me just see some of those. Let's see here. Dr. Vibe Show says, I'm not seeing the touch-up feature in my camera settings. So it should be there. If you click settings and then click camera, there should be something that says touch up my appearance. If it's not showing up for you, I would just, if you go to StreamYard.com/
certain devices don't have it. So that would be why. So right now, if a device doesn't support it, we don't show the setting. We'll probably change that just to make it clear why it's not showing up. But particularly if you're on mobile, we don't support mobile with touch-up right now. So that's maybe the most likely reason. Then also certain devices, like if you don't have a graphics card, for example, you won't see that option. We're hoping to add it for mobile, by the way. We won't, I don't think, add it for laptops that don't have a graphics card because they can't really do it. But mobile hopefully is coming relatively soon.
And Chris on Facebook, I see a question from you about billing. If you just go to StreamYard.com/contact and go to the live chat, they will help you immediately. It's 24/7.
Yep. Andrew was asking if there's hotkey support. So there is hotkey support. And I believe it's for right now pausing and restarting and then canceling. Or pausing and resuming, I should say, sorry. And then canceling. I don't think we have one for restart yet, but there are hotkeys.
Cool. Let's see.
And they're not set by default, I don't think. So you can't just accidentally press a key and suddenly have it pause or restart or something. You have to actually set up the hotkey yourself first.
Cool. Maurice says, thanks. I have another question. Can I use this streaming platform to broadcast on a typical network TV broadcast? Yes, you certainly can. In terms of how you do that, it's going to depend on basically just your setup when it comes to the television station. So if you do have a production setup where you're able to take in an RTMP feed, that would be one way to do it. But yeah, it basically is going to depend on your setup. But yeah, we've definitely seen StreamYard being used when it comes to, we've seen it in a few Netflix series, which was pretty cool, and then in segments of TV shows as well. So it just depends what your setup's like.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty common to take like a recording from a StreamYard broadcast, for example, and just show it as a segment in a TV show.
Yeah, absolutely. John says, is there any way to have local recording and cloud recording checkboxes on for everything by default? Unfortunately, we haven't had these and have missed some prime repurposing opportunities. You want to take that one down?
Yeah, so for cloud recording, there is no checkbox. It is just on by default, but then there's like a backup audio cloud recording that gets turned on whenever you turn on local recordings. One thing I'd just be curious, John, I totally get the pain point there. It sucks when you think of features on and it's not. I'd be curious if you're doing recordings or streams, because with recordings, it should save your previous setting. So it's just on, and then if you never turn it off, it should just stay on. With streaming right now, we don't keep it on. We do turn it off. I think it's every single time, so you have to keep turning it on. That's something we're thinking about changing. There's just some people that have it on when they're doing a stream where they're not necessarily using it, so it shouldn't necessarily be on. So we're trying to find a way to kind of optimize for those different use cases of, hey, I'm doing a stream and I really need it versus I'm doing a stream and I accidentally turned it on. It can actually make the quality slightly worse if you're not careful. So yeah, trying to optimize for that. But let me know if predominantly live streams. You already said in the chat. Yeah, so that's something we're going to look into to try and make the user experience better for that. So hopefully we can have something pretty soon for you. And it won't be like, I don't think it'll be like a global setting where you like permanently lock that this feature's on, but it would at least remember your last setting for you if we do it nicely.
Cool. Landlord Advocate says, we're looking to create reaction videos. What is the longest length video we can upload to SY that we'll react to? Yeah, that's a good question. So it depends what video feature you're using. So if you're using the local video sharing option, there's no limit. So like whatever, you're only limited by basically how big your hard drive is on your computer in terms of storing that video and sharing it on StreamYard. So I would probably recommend that if it's a very long video, that I would probably recommend that no matter what, because the video clips feature is the other one I was going to mention, but that one's more for intro and outro videos. They're not really designed to sort of pause, react, talk about, and then play again. So I would use the local video sharing option, and for that feature, there's not a length limit.
Yep.
All right. Lots of great questions here. Let's go. So with Joanne, says feature request, ability to see comments and banners on the same page. Please, please, please. Yep, definitely noted, Joanne. It is something that the team is looking into for the studio, is how to sort of give a little bit more flexibility in terms of where you want to see things. All right. Holly says, I'm on the free version. I really wish it was easier to show photos. Are you working on that? I would be curious, Holly, if you're aware of the slide sharing options. That's something that I think works pretty well for a lot of folks. Like basically, if you make like a Google Slides presentation and just like each slide you paste in a photo or several photos or whatever you want to share, and then use the slide sharing option on StreamYard, I think that's a pretty good option for that. If you already are aware of that and that doesn't fit your needs, I'd be curious what would, and like what sort of the gaps are there.
That said, though, we are also considering just making it easier to share images in general that kind of behave like slide sharing, but without you having to actually create a slideshow.
Cool. Zev says, is the new recording feature available on mobile devices?
Yes.
Yep, all devices. Awesome, Josh. Glad that you're looking forward to it. I'll be curious. Definitely let us know how it goes. Maya says, unrelated to the new feature, but is StreamYard going to connect to Instagram so people can watch live there as well? Yeah, that's a good question, Maya. We'd love to support Instagram. There are a few ways to, there are a small group of folks that do have access to the RTMP feature of Instagram, but it is a pretty small group. If you go to our help articles, there are some instructions there to check if you do actually have access to it. And if you do have access to that, you can actually go there through RTMP. But for now, the Instagram only has it set where, according to their policies, you should only stream directly from the mobile app. I'm optimistic, especially since they added that RTMP thing, that eventually they will make an API for tools like StreamYard to work with. And if they do that, we absolutely will support it.
Yes.
Cool. Should we go ahead and start queuing up the giveaway, Dan, while I do a few more questions here?
Definitely.
Gotti says, hey guys, any changes coming to the green screen yet? Like the ability to shrink myself down a bit so I'm not in the way of the green screen, sort of like how gamers do it in OBS, or can't that be done? You want to do that one, Dan?
Yeah, it's something we're open to. And I'm guessing like you're kind of talking about cutting out the background as well and then just putting yourself over top of the screen. It's something, yeah, we've explored a little bit whether we want to do something like that. Definitely open to it. It is a little weird when you start to have guests and things like that, but when you're by yourself, I can see it being a pretty cool feature. It can be pretty hard on your machine. So, you know, like you mentioned, gamers and stuff. Like a lot of gamers do it, but a lot of gamers also have super powerful machines, whereas a lot of StreamYard users do not. So open to it. It's not something we're working on right now, but it is something we would like to continue exploring just to see different ways we can do it.
Cool. Crafty Kid says, with the weather we're having, if StreamYard happens to get interrupted, what happens? That's a good question, Crafty Kid. So that is one cool thing about StreamYard, is because it is a cloud streaming tool. If say, there's a lightning storm or something crazy happens and you completely lose internet connection, the stream won't actually get disconnected. Whereas like if you are using something that's coming directly from your computer, like OBS or something like that, it's tied directly to your internet. But because StreamYard is sort of in the middle there, the stream will continue. And exactly what happens will sort of depend on your setup. If you have a co-host, it'll just continue for as long as the co-host is there, and hopefully gives you time to maybe come back on your phone or whatever you need to do to get back into the broadcast. If nobody is in the studio, like say you disconnect and you're the only one in the show, we wait a little bit of time, but then do eventually end it, right, Dan?
Yeah, it's about 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, like you'll, I mean, if you're say your power goes out, like you'll disconnect from the stream, so it's not like your face is still getting broadcast or something, but it won't end on YouTube and Facebook and the other platforms. It'll just be like a black screen, or if you're sharing an overlay or something, it'll just be the overlay, for example. But it'll wait for a while. And then what a lot of people do, rejoin on a mobile device or something like that just to finish the stream off if their power is just staying off, or your power turns back on 30 seconds later, you just rejoin and keep going. People usually call that disconnect protection, and it's just like a nice benefit of StreamYard we don't talk about very much.
Cool. So the giveaway for tonight, I think many folks are already familiar, but if you type in hashtag the yard, you'll be eligible. And tonight we'll give away one of those pillows I have in the background and a StreamYard sweater. And if you are ever curious or interested in running a giveaway like this yourself, we actually made this tool available at StreamYard.com/giveaway. There's a video there walking through exactly how to use it. But yeah, we'll give you maybe 10 or more seconds or so to get in your hashtag the yards, and only counts one. It only will count one time. So save yourself the typing. All right, let's maybe do one question while we wait for those to come in. Marianne says, yes, I had my internet disconnect and the stream was still on YouTube and I was able to get back. Awesome. April says, would love to see the ability to change the camera from a square to a circle and drag it around the screen. So yeah, definitely noted on the circle, April. It's definitely something we're open to. In terms of dragging it around on the screen, is that something you want to do live, or is that something that the custom layouts would actually support as is? Because you can actually like make a layout of you in a different corner, but is it like you actually want to see it in the output itself? People see you moving around the screen. I'm guessing it's that, but if not, let me know. Yep. All right, should we go ahead and run it, Dan?
Let's do it. Good luck, everyone.
Good luck. Tyler's Variety. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight, and congrats. If you can send an email to contact@StreamYard.com, the team can work with you on getting your address and size for your brand new StreamYard pillow and your StreamYard sweater.
Cool. Congrats.
All right. And on that note, this was episode 241 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. Really excited about the recording controls. Looking forward to next week, hearing how it sounds like many of you have already tried it out, but getting more feedback from you. Always a pleasure getting the chance to hear your feedback. We'll see you next week at the same time, Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific.
Awesome. Thanks for hanging out with us, everyone. See you next week.